Lawyer and former judge Rich Leonard is now the dean of the Campbell University Law School, but he's also a historian.
His roots run deep in Davidson County, all the way back to the Revolutionary War, and Leonard is using his family's story to make the 1700s come alive for children.
The book is called The House by the Creek, and Rich Leonard joins us now, along with Green, who's also read the book. Welcome to both of you.
Thank you. It's a delight to be here with you. I'm in my 8th day as dean, so it's nice to take a break and talk about this with you today.
Well, we appreciate you taking the time out.
Only the 8th day, and here you are. Just
Turns out it's a real job.
It is, and that college has grown so much. It's
Law
incredible.
school's a phenomenal place. I was honored to have the chance to take the helm of it.
Well, what inspired you to write this book to begin with?
I grew up in Davidson County. I was an incessant reader of history as a child, and I would always say, why is there nothing about where we come from? All the stories are about Boston and about Philadelphia, but something must have happened here. And as my kids began to ask those same questions, I dug a little deeper and found out, much to my amazement, that I had a little-known family patriarch, my great-great-great-great-grandfather, who actually lived in those days, participated in those events, and I began to try to dig out his story.
So you write it in such a way that children will really soak it up, and you explain what life was like during that time, don't you?
I tried to. This started out being just what I thought would be a collection of stories for my children and my 7 grandchildren, so you'll get used to it.
Wow. I won't be going there.
But as I kept working with it, it just got bigger and bigger, and one day I realized it had some exposure beyond my own immediate family, and the results have been extraordinary. What I've tried to do is tell a family story as accurately as I possibly could, but also make sure that the major historical events are accurate so that could actually be used to teach history about North Carolina during that period. Turns out that North Carolina was critical. The war hung in the balance in 1781 in North Carolina, but it's a story that even a lot of proud North Carolinians don't really know.
And that takes a lot of research, though, to really get something like that authentic.
It did. There's some very good textbook histories in North Carolina that gave me some of the big history, but the family history I dug through genealogies and private books and local collections to come up with what I think is an accurate portrayal of
So, Green,
what
you
happened there.
read the book. What did you think?
I think I liked how it was a true story and how his family helped get us our freedom from the British. I thought that was really cool.
Did you have a favorite part?
I probably liked when the first part of the book, when the father showed his youngest son the gold in the stump.
You think it'd be a little tough to live back then compared to now?
What surprised you most about how life was different in the 1700s versus how it is now in 2013?
Well, I didn't realize that there was that many farms, and most people survived just because they had a farm.
It's a good thing for a young person to know, because I'm sure a lot of kids think food just comes from the grocery store.
And one of the joys is I've been reading this book with 4th and 5th graders all over the state. Some who have read it, some who haven't, and it's been really intriguing to get their reactions to these events.
And you call it historical fiction, right?
I do, because it's history. General Cornwallis and General Greene did fight at Guilford Courthouse in March of 1781, and the battle scenes and what happened are completely accurate. And my family did live, and they did have 8 children, and those were their names. But the conversations among them, I'm really not privy to. So I had to just imagine what life might be like in that sort of large clan. So that's the fiction part, and the other, the major events are the history part.
Well, Rich and Green, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having us. It was